YouTubers, I want to welcome you to another edition of Bargain Bin Gear. Okay, now last time we took a look at a big bass cabinet. Now, I was rummaging through some stuff, you know, and well, I came across something really strange, you know. In fact, I didn't know what to make of it. It was a pedal, it looked like, but it was so strange, because it looked like it had a mic holder set up to the side of it, and this thing looked old, too. I mean, you know, it reminded me very much of like the 1950s, is what it looked like. You know, when they had that old gray metal, you know, and potentiometers, you know, that were knobs like that. Kind of from the 50s, really. So, this was the strangest pedal I think I'd ever run across. And what is it, you may ask? Well, let me show you. Here it is. Isn't that bizarre? So here it is. It's got two potentiometers, a weird microphone looking stand here. I don't know what microphone clip is, what I'm saying, is what it looks like. Whew. And this thing looks pretty darn old. And it has a jack here and a jack here on each side, or each end, I should say. And there's a switch right here. Right? Now here's what it says. On the bottom you'll see it says Goodrich. Right? So, and this is actually called a Model 6A Super Sustain Matchbox. Wow. And it has a gain and a tone and Goodrich, and it even has the address of Goodrich, 3733 Silver Creek Road. What is this? And it's definitely vintage. Now I opened this thing up and I saw that it took two 9-volt batteries. Well, there weren't any batteries in here, so I went out and got some, you know, dollar store batteries or whatever. 2 9-volts, you know, just to try it, see what it was. And so I installed the batteries, and well, I went looking online to see, well, what is this? You know, Model 6A Super Sustain Matchbox. Right? It's so bizarre. And what's this clip right here about? Well, here's what I found out, as far as I could tell. And that is that this is actually a vintage favorite amongst steel guitar players. And I think originally designed for this purpose. And that is, you know, steel guitar, you've seen them, right? Especially in country music, you know. It's basically, it sits on a stand and there are strings going as if you had a guitar on your lap, and you take a big metal thing and, you know, right? You slide it around and thing. Well, turns out that this microphone clip right here, and it makes perfect sense once you see it, is when it plugs in to the side of the pedal steel leg, right? So you plug it into the side, and then, you know, when you're sitting down, you have your tone control and your gain. So anyway, so this was really designed for guitar pedal steel players. They would hook it up to the leg of the pedal steel, right? And then they'd have their controls when they were sitting down and using it right there, right in front of them, basically. Okay, now, here's the idea, and this is a little confusing. This actually acts as a buffer and also a boost. And the original idea behind this is it wasn't really used as a boost pedal. But what it was used for is to regain what was lost when using a volume pedal, a passive volume pedal, also designed by Goodrich at the time. So anyway, by using this, you regain the tone that you lose when using the volume pedal. I found this very interesting and very unusual, really. So, and here's what I discovered. One, you can use these for guitar as well. And it actually, it gives you a very nice, clean sound. And the boost isn't huge, but it's very clean, you know. Very clean sound. Now, here you have a toggle switch on the end, near the input. Alright, so you plug your guitar cable from the guitar to the input here, and then the output, right, you use the cable and it goes to the amplifier. Okay, now as you can tell, it has a toggle switch near the input here, right? And you would think that, on a conventional pedal it would be an on-off switch, right? But that's not the case here. In fact, this toggle switch is very much because you have a tone control here, right? Very much like on a stereo or a car stereo, you know. It cuts off the highs as you turn it left, or boosts the highs as you turn them to the right. And with this toggle switch, right, it can defeat or bypass, if you like, the tone control. Right? So if you turn it downwards, I believe, it'll engage the tone control. Or if you turn it upwards, then it just bypasses the tone control altogether. And then the bottom one is the gain. Now, of course, the next step is, it's such a bizarre pedal, you know, I wasn't sure what to expect, guitar-wise. So let's try it. Alright, now, here I'm just going to play through this little orange amp right here. Alright, and now I'm going to plug in the pedal here. And we're going to compare it and see if it makes a difference. So right now I've got it plugged into the Goodrich pedal, and the tone knob is defeated. So the toggle switch is in the up position. So it's just bypassing the tone toggle. So it's only affecting the gain, as you can see. Right. Right. No sound at all at 0. And here we go at halfway on the gain knob. really hear that. But now, as I start to bring it up, that's at 75%. And I'll go ahead and max it out all the way to the right, turned up. And now we can hear a big difference, I think. So as you can tell, it's a lot louder, for sure, you know. And you see how it's a really nice clean sound there. Now, I'm going to engage the toggle switch here, and that's going to turn up the tone control, right? So there we go. Now we've got the tone control in, and I have it turned all the way to the left. So basically it's 0, and you'll hear it's pretty drastic. But as you turn it up, of course, you get, right, just like a tone control. I'll put it at halfway here and get that kind of, so it kind of warms it up because it's cutting off the high end. As I bring it up here, and here we go, maxed out. big difference there. If I engage the tone, here's with the tone. And that's at the tone switch is at the halfway mark, right? And at 75%, you get this kind of. And now I'll bypass the tone switch. And now with it engaged, okay, it's actually a really, really cool pedal in the sense that it's kind of a, as far as I can tell, depending on what sound you're going for, it's kind of a set and forget kind of pedal in a way. Very much kind of like a compressor, you know, one that you would leave on quite a bit. And that tone control really makes a huge difference, you know, between a warm sound and a brighter sound, you know, because it really cuts those highs a little bit. And I also think that the boost does make a huge difference. And I hate to call it a boost because it really isn't quite a boost, you know, like you would think of a modern pedal, you know, boosting the signal. But it does make it sound a little bit bigger, a lot cleaner, you know, it's really nice clean sound. Okay, so there you go. That is the Goodrich Model 6A Super Sustain Matchbox. And one thing I should mention, and in fact it even says it right here, insert plug fully to connect battery. In other words, if you leave a cable plugged in, it'll wear down those batteries. So after you use it, you pretty much got to unplug it, or else you'll constantly be draining the batteries in there and you have to replace them. Okay, now overall, here are my thoughts about the Goodrich Model 6A Super Sustain Matchbox. And that is, I find it to be a very interesting pedal. It's just so unusual, really. And you really can hear the what it does, the buffering, if you like. It does give you a very, very nice clean sound. And also found that the tone control is very useful as well. You know, especially off the high end, you know. If you have a really bright high end, using the tone control will really smooth that out very well. The other thing is, as far as the gain control, I'd hate to really call it a boost, pedal, but it is a larger signal than if you weren't using the pedal. And I think it's very transparent as well. Very unusual. If you run across one of these, I highly recommend it. I think it's a really neat pedal. Yeah, I found it very interesting and very usable, too. Alright, very good. See you next time. Bye.